Emma's Universe podcast.
Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here?
Emma's Universe podcast.
Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here?
Emma's Universe podcast.
Hello and welcome to Emma's podcast. I was ready to, record, and something interestingly happened while I was recording or attempting to record. So it created another track actually on my intro. And I'm like, no, this is not what we're looking for here and right now. So, but very, very interesting. I'm thinking of my friend Jenner Zino. If you don't know who Jenner Zino is, actually, is the genius behind my intro and exit music for my podcast. He created the music. He did not pick it up. Not this one. That's the other one that he created the music. He's a gifted musician. He's a gifted artist. He's an absolutely phenomenal writer as well. If you go back and search Journey to Saturn on my podcast, I recorded it in 2023 and 2022 or 2023. Do not recall which one it was. 2022, I believe. He connected with me on Wisdom app. I use Wisdom app as my incubator. If people don't know what Wisdom app is, it's a live app that where you can share your thoughts, you can host your own show, quote unquote, and you got guests that will ask if they want to come up on the app. And I shared a story, but I'm going to share it right now. I don't know why I'm thinking about my beautiful friend Jenner, because I love Jenner. He's a torture poet, but such a bright genius. Seriously, autodidact. And if you don't know what an autodidact is, it's somebody that do things automatically, that has never learned it. They pick it up. I'm an autodidact too. I have done a lot of things that people are mind blown by it, and I'm like, I love to learn. This is who I am. So I remember that one day I was actually expanding, because I'm on Podomatic with my podcast, and Podomatic links to other, like to Apple, to Google, to, I don't remember what the others are, iHeartRadio and stuff like that. And I did a reverse with iHeartRadio because I could not connect it. So I had to create the account and then put connected reverse. Instead of going from Podomatic to iHeart, I went from iHeart to Podomatic just to get my episode there. And I was talking with the universe and saying, just aka God, for people who don't know, and said, it would be nice to have my own show, live show, like in iHeart. I was thinking, because iHeart has their live show, blah blah blah. And 2 weeks later, true story, guys, not far-fetched from anything at all. True story. I received an email from the concierge of Wisdom. They have checked my podcast. They love the podcast, and they wanted me to be a top mentor there. And I'm like, okay, no problem. And being part of the beta phase of that app, which I had no clue what was Wisdom, blah blah blah. So I'm like, sure, no problem. Then I was supposed to get the beta in August, never showed up. September did not. October came. You gotta love October. I love October. Good or bad, who gives a crap? I love October. And the fall time is always, I don't know why, but this is the excitement of fall. I love fall to start projects and do things, because I feel there is a lot of good energy at that time. Don't know, but it is what it is. So I went online, I got the app, I got the beta app, I went in there, and I remember I wasn't in my home, I was somewhere else because I was dating somebody at that time, and I was at his house, and I remember I was in that little dining room of his, and I had my iPad with me, ready to go, and I had no clue. I actually Emma did not read. That's funny. The directions. Yeah, this is what happened. I generally I do the same with electronics. I never follow directions. I just go with the flow. Well, it is a good thing, actually, better than a bad thing, for the reason of when I open the app, it make me go through, see the little mic, so you enter your episode, who you are, blah, 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 create a profile, click on that, put the title of it, and hit go or whatever, click or whatever, submit. I did not realize it was live. And when I say live, it's live. Not what I'm doing right now. Right now, I'm on Audacity software. I'm recording it. I can change, add, delete. I can do whatever I want. Okay? It is not live. So when I saw the button live, and there were other people on the app as well, I went crickets. Literally crickets. No sound coming out. Nothing. And I hang up. After, I don't know, 3-4 seconds, I hang up the entire app. I just shut it down. I stopped it. And I started to laugh. And I said, oh my God. Literally. What are you doing to me, people upstairs? Seriously. I could not stop to laugh, realizing that a few months before, I was just saying to the universe, it would be nice to have my live show and talk to people and blah, blah, blah. Ask and you shall receive. And I'm like, okay. So I got terrified, terrorized. I got like, oh my God, what the heck? And I had two options at that time. One, not turning back, and no go back, no, not going back live, no go back, nothing. Finito Michelito, stay with the crickets. Or, after I was done laughing for 20 minutes, go back, go live, and have a topic. So what I did, because unless you love to talk anything and everything, which I learned to do, afterwards, I did what I did when I started my podcast a few years before. I picked up one of my blogs. This is what I did at the beginning. I picked up one of my blogs because it was only me and the mic. It's still me and the mic. I have done co-hosting shows. I have done all of this later on. But the hardest part that people always said to me was doing it solo. And I'm like, well, I went with the hardest one because that's exactly what I've done all of my years. I have done co-hosting afterwards. I have interviewed people, which I love to do because I love to do that. And I know my friend Belinda. I'm so happy we reconnected. I love Belinda. I have so many stories I will share with you, especially the best one ever is how I met Belinda. This is awesome. So you will have to stay tuned. I'm not going to tell you right now how I did, unless you look at previous episode and I talked about it. But back to my to the story. So what I did was I picked up my one of my blogs and I read it, which took about a few minutes. And then, like I normally did in the past, at the beginning of doing podcast, I just go off of it, channel, and have the universe continue the conversation for 20 minutes. This is how I did it at the beginning. So I used the same process, which was easier because when you have that little flashing button telling you you're live, trust me, there is a difference. You see this in movies when people like they're all talking and all of a sudden you see that they go live and they go to crickets. That's exactly what I did. So in order to remedy that situation, I just did that. And from there, I met Sammy, and we got the C show, which is Sammy and Emma show. Then we did when the app launched, because the most interesting part of it, when I got that beta, that was on a Tuesday or something like that, or on Monday, and by the following Tuesday, they were going live. So I did not have 2 months of beta and doing it. I just had a few days and that was it, because I did not start it right away. I waited a Thursday to start to do this. So imagine I let pass a few days because I didn't even realize there was a deadline. And then Sammy came along and I had to laugh so much. I miss Sammy because Sammy and his adventure were something. He was door dashing and basically he had the worst day ever happened to him that Friday. And we were in a beta phase, and people were listening to him, and I got and he put me live, so as a guest, and I laughed so hard. He went from being depressed, that was the end of the world, because on Thursday things happened. On Friday, he had a worse day, and when I talked to him, it basically I was able to turn him around, make him laugh, and take things lighter. And then on Sunday, I got him again because the saga continued with him. And we decided right there, why don't we launch the show, the C show? And we did it for several months. And I love it. It was a very popular show that we did. So I do the C show. I open and I said, this is a C show. But um, it's been very interesting because for me, this was an incubator. If you need to learn how to speak in public, how to listen to people, and face any kind of people, for me, the Wisdom app, has been the best thing ever. Because when I did podcast, I signed my podcast in what, 20, what? I don't even recall when I started it. 2019, 2018, 2019, 2019, something like that. No, 2017 it's when I started officially the business. So 2018, the beginning of it was a February 2018. Then I started it. And I had no training. Just go with the flow and the universe. Universe brought me everything I needed. I remember I shared that story too. Then I had the list of what I wanted to do, what was on my to-do list, and this one of them, when the universe gave me the go, it's time for go, search on the computer, found Audacity, which is a free app actually that you use to record, so you did not have to have a Mac or anything like that. I just had to get the microphone, which took me several of them because I got 15. Some people have a Yeti, but I have 15. I like 15. I like those microphones. And I just started from scratch, and I found an intro and an exit music temporarily, blah blah blah. So moving forward, been on Wisdom. In the first month or two I was going on there, I had nobody wanted to come and talk to me, which I suddenly were all listening for a month and a half, and finally people started to come and talk to me, so I picked up guests. But it was very interesting because you have to remember one thing, and I always made sure of one thing when I go live, and that always been my motto. One, you don't go live when you're angry. Two, reminding myself I am live, which means I cannot stop, pause, or delete anything. Everything coming out of my mouth, and that will be it. There is no take two on this one. And it was a very good reminder that, you have people who have meltdown, who do things and they regret it, blah, blah, blah. And I said, you have to watch what you're saying. Okay? In private, I can go and do some crazy thing. Fine. But when you are live, then that's a different story. So that was number one. Two was, how do you deal with people communication wise? Okay. So if you have an accent, if you have this, if you have that, you take the time to talk. Except when I'm excited, I go blah, 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 blah. But it was, how do you communicate and come across with your voice? So that was another thing too. Three, picking up guests, people who want to talk to you. You have no idea who they are. So there are things they could say you don't agree with. So you have a way to learn to communicate. So at the end of the day, it doesn't end up like a battle or anything like that. I had one individual who was a little bit creepy at the end that I didn't want it up in my show. But I would say overall, the experience was interesting because I did not agree with a lot of things, not a lot of things, but some people. But at least I heard what they had to say. We can hear each other. I don't have to agree. We don't have to agree to disagree, but I like the fact that you can share, so I can understand where you're coming from. But that doesn't mean I'm going to embrace what you're saying, but I can hear you and have a different perspective. So it brings more perspective into our life. So this was the interesting part of it. And then one night was about 10, 11 o'clock at night, something like that. Jenner pop up. And I'm like, okay, hi, Jenner. How you doing? Blah, blah, blah. And he decided to say, well, you know what? Would you be interested to do a story? I said, okay. He said, yes, I want to do a story. I want you to be Cassini. And I'm like, okay, journey to Saturn. Sure, no problem. I had no idea. I'm like, sure, no problem. If I can, lend my voice to projects, I don't have a problem with that. And he wrote it for me, and I did in one shot. Actually, I never when I did mine, I did it in one shot. I put some specific music in my ears while I was saying it, and I put all of the emotion in there. So, Journey to Saturn for me was one of the most powerful, and that would make everybody cry. Actually, the intention wasn't to make people cry, but I was thinking of my friend Jenner. So what he did and was beautiful as well. He's such a gifted and talented artist and a composer that he created, and I never asked him to do it. He did it out of the blue, and the intro, even the one you're hearing there, he has the right for the music and the song on this one. But his creativity is unbelievable. If you go in episode maybe 500, 600, something like that, you will hear the other one he created out of the blue that was just mind blowing. So, yes, Jenner is someone, Jenner Zino, you can find me on LinkedIn, is absolutely, for me, a gifted artist. Somebody is such a freaking genius. He is a genius, and he's a great composer, musician. He's doing a lot of things. So beautiful, beautiful, tortured soul that I dearly love. I consider him one of my brother from another mother and father, literally. So I don't know why I'm talking about him right now, but it's been quite a very long journey for him, but such a gifted individual. So it's always nice to meet people across the land, and being able to meet them and, you know, via different app, and being able to collaborate. And this is what I love. It was the collaboration we have. And maybe there is times we're busy in our different life, and we come back like we left yesterday. So I really love him. Spiritual person, extreme person, but just a golden heart. So beautiful friend. I'm thinking about him. And today I wanted to talk about, and I will talk on that, would be the Wednesday talk, the power of letting go. But having him and listening to the intro really is inspiring and uplifting. So, beautiful person to work with. He has Studio Stargazers .org that you can go and listen to, not only my podcast but to his podcast, to all of the story and the cinematic he has done, which is unbelievable. His creativity is amazing. Journey to Saturn was based on Cassini um, um, traveling, which Cassini, if you don't know the story, was from NASA. They built that ship to go to Saturn. And through Saturn, he basically, the story that I'm sharing is the travel to Saturn. And the crew was, when you work on a baby like that for years, for a decade, and you see from the beginning to end, that crew is still was people still working in NASA, but in different areas. He was able to get the hold of those guys and send them actually the journey to Saturn that I recorded to them as well. But absolutely phenomenal. As I said, a phenomenal person, wonderful story. And what was very interesting in the journey to Saturn at the end, Cassidy, auto-destructed at the end. It left something else behind. You have to go and listen to the story. But what is great is that at the end, Cassini disintegrated. They didn't want Cassini to crash and disturb Saturn. So when the time came and the mission was accomplished and done, it auto-destructed in the air instead of crashing and disturbing Saturn. So just a beautiful story. But if you have a chance to listen to it, otherwise go to Studio Stargazers, because seriously, it's an amazing website with, again, different podcasts as well. His podcast is amazing, is extreme, but in extreme in a beautiful way for me, because I dearly love him. So I'm gonna be biased on this one. Sorry, not sorry, but just love him. He's such a wonderful person. So yeah, so we're gonna be talking because I was like I said, my topic today was, and I was inspired. I'm like, whoa, let's talk about the power of letting go. Well, that will be for our Wednesday, and why surrendering is not giving up. That's something that we need to explore a little bit. So I'm going to be talking about it on Wednesday. But for today, I just wanted to talk about my friend Belinda, and she just texted me. So I'm going to let her know, oh, by the way, for the episode in May, I'm just talking about you. And Belinda, by the way, has an organization that is called These Old Dogs, which she is now based with a nonprofit organization, and I will interview her. And that's one of the reasons I love her dearly. She was my realtor, so there's a reason why I love her dearly. But she was like, oh my God, I just love her. And she created that organization in Texas. She moved to Texas and has right now 9 or 10 senior dogs, and she rescue them so they can spend their golden years in her organization, in her nonprofit in Texas, which is absolutely wonderful. So I love her. I absolutely can't wait to talk to her. So it's gonna be awesome to have her on my podcast. I don't know when. We need to figure it out when we can do that. But she is somebody that I know for the past 2 decades, over 2 decades, and just a lovely person. So if you have an opportunity to look at her organization, I will put it into the what do you call it? Into my little preview or summary for this podcast right here. But we will do in-depth talk because she's a phenomenal person. And yes, it's called These Old Dogs Rescue, and she is phenomenal. So I will put some information in there so you can find her on Facebook, Instagram, and it's a nonprofit for animals, and that's for the golden years for some of the dogs. So all my love, guys, and we'll talk to you to you Wednesday. I was ready to say tomorrow. We're not. That would be Wednesday because this is Monday recording. And we definitely going to be talking on our Wednesday recording the power of letting go and why surrounding isn't giving up, because a lot of people don't understand that. All my love, guys, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.
Where do we go from here?
Emma's Universe Podcast.
Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here?
Emma's Universe Podcast. Universe Podcast.
Studio Star.